What's good? Welcome to episode 2 of the Herb Howard Show. I am Herb Howard. Thank y'all so much for choosing to tune into the conversation. While you're here, you might as well like the show, so please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with at least one person that you think is a Bears fan or at least a football fan. We're going to talk about the Bears today. Backed by popular demand, we will get with one half of the founders, Eugene McIntosh. Hey, y'all was really feeling Gene on the show. I was kind of happy, but I was kind of salty because I thought my name was on the show, and all the stuff I kept hearing was how raw Gino was on the show. Salute to the big homie. But he will be back today. We're going to chop it up about what it might mean for the Bears if they go 0-2. Is that doomsday? Is it not? I will be going around the league, check out some of the games that are coming up this week as well. But first and foremost, we got to start with the Bears. Bears 0-1 headed to Detroit this week. Detroit also 0-1. They got smacked at Lambeau by the Packers this week. We're going to talk about the Packers a little bit later because they looking like a juggernaut. They're looking like a whole problem out here right now. I don't know when or if somebody going to beat them the way they playing, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. Point is, we got two 0-1 teams, both of them already with the loss in the division, going into another division game. It's in Detroit. It's at Ford Field. The Bears are a 6-point underdog headed up to the D, and I don't know how they come out there with a victory. We're going to talk about some of those things, looking at it, because if they go 0-2, it could be over with for the Bears just as soon as it has started. Same thing for Detroit. They cannot afford to go 0-2, especially with two division games to start off the season. So both of these teams desperately need to win. We will see which one of them come out with the better game plan and who's able to execute that game plan at a higher level. Who's going to be the more physical team? Can they run the football? We saw the Detroit Lions get physically outplayed in Lambeau against the Packers. They couldn't run the ball, they couldn't throw the ball, they couldn't stop the run, they couldn't stop the pass. I don't know if you know anything about football, but that means you're going to lose. And it probably means you're going to get your butt whooped, and they certainly did. Going into this particular game, since the Super Bowl era has started back in '66, the Bears and the Lions are absolutely even. 58-4, I believe, is the record between those teams since the Super Bowl era has started. Somebody's going to take a little bit of an edge of this game coming up. It's really been even also throughout the decades. I want to get this right for y'all. So let me check on these official stats. Shout out to the official statistician for the Herb Howard Show, big homie Shug, looked up some things and let me know that not only has it been even since the Super Bowl era, but the past several decades has also been even. You go back to the 1990s when everybody thought Lions huff, 2000s, Lions huff, 2010s, Lions huff. Bears must be huff too, because in the 1990s, the Lions actually won the series, 12 games to 8. In the 2000s, the Bears came back, won it 13-7. 2010s, even split, 10 games apiece. So far for the 2020s, the Lions are up 6-4, including 4 of the last 5 games. So we talk about how long the Lions been huffed. The Bears been huffed just about as long. It's been a battle of ineptitude. My grammar school basketball coach, shout out to Mr. Carter at Bryn Mawr on 73rd and Jefferson, he used to say, battle of the busters. Anytime two Huff cats used to play one-on-one at practice, he would call it the battle of the busters. I think that's kind of what this has been. Barring the Urlacher years, the Briggs years, the Tillman years, when they had the defense, then the Bears won 13 out of 20. But for the most part, been a pretty even series. But lately, Detroit been holding their own against the Bears. So the Bears are going to go up there, right? What are they going to try to do? They got to try to establish the run. We heard from Coach Johnson this week saying, I need to call more run plays. Now, the Bears could not get their running game going last week at Soldier Field Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings, but they still got to stick with the run. So many things that the Bears want to do offensively are predicated off their play-action pass. If you don't run the ball, you can't set up your play action. Even if you're not being as effective as you want to be with the run, you got to stick to it. You got to keep the defense honest. You got to be able to stick the ball in there to the running back, pull it out. You suck up those linebackers, and then you can throw it over their head. Pete, don't look at me like that. Pause. Gino, you don't even like pause, so now you want to pause.
Oh my God.
Y'all off the chain in here. I said what I said. You got to be able to run the ball if you want to set up the play action. So we'll keep that moving. You wild, bro. You wild, bro. You wild, bro. Shout out to my brother Mean in D.C. I know he wilding over there right now, too. But anyway, Bears got to be able to set the play action. So whether they can get 3 yards a clip or they can get actually 4 or 5 yards a clip, they have to be able to stick to the run. What I really like, though, about Coach Johnson, this has been since day one, since he first got here. He's been very open. He's been very transparent. He's been very honest. Not only his assessment of his players and how he's willing to critique them both privately and publicly, but critique his own self. And I thought that was something that was very refreshing to hear after the game. He talked about several things that he could have done better. Not only calling more runs, but he said he's got to be better with the process of deciding when to throw the challenge flag. He challenged the play, lost it on Monday night. That cost him a critical timeout that he needed later on in the second half. He also talked about the process of deciding what they should have done when they were trying to kick the ball out the back of the end zone. He said, we should have just kicked it out of bounds. So I like when a coach is kind of self-reflective that way, right? I think it sends the right message through the locker room. One, if you're going to be a guy that's going to hold us accountable, then hold yourself accountable too. And I thought he did that at a really well this week, hearing him speak about what he could have done better. He's talked about that, though, since he's gotten here day one. He says, there's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing for the very first time. He's learning on the job, right? So there's a huge difference between showing up on Sunday, calling the offense, turning your back when the defense is on the field, turning your back when the special teams is on the field. Now he has to be involved in all of those decisions. He has to pay attention to every single thing that's going on. He has surrounded himself with a very good coaching staff, but the duties are different when you are the head guy. I think he's finding that out right now. We'll see what that looks like for him as he goes back to the place where he spent 4 years building what many people thought was the best offense in the National Football League, elevating himself to be the top most desirable candidate this particular head coaching cycle. He is now with the Bears. They are now 0-1. They head to Detroit on Sunday. There's a noon kickoff to see if they can even up their record or if they go 0-2. If the latter happens, it could be over with. Coming out of this first break, we're going to have the one and only Eugene McIntosh back here chopping it up with me to figure out what that might mean for the Bears, and is that likely to happen, or will they get themselves to 1-1 against the Detroit Lions? The Herb Howard Show. Come back. Welcome back inside the big studios. We are live. Thank y'all so very much for choosing to tune in. I don't know if y'all hopping in the comments. Can we get the comments up on the screen somewhere so I can see if the people are chopping it up with me as we go through the show? Please leave your comments. I want to hear your questions, your comments, your concerns. Anything you got to say, would greatly appreciate that. Your input is always welcome, always valued, and certainly appreciated. Shout out to Wendell in the chat. Frank Nitty, I see you in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Also, you can like, subscribe, share. Mac is in the building, as she tends to be. 10 Bells, what's good? You can also leave the super chats, which we greatly appreciate. But right now, let's hop into it, man. One half of the founders is in the building. Gino, listen, man. Y'all named the show the Herb Howard Show. So much of the feedback was about Eugene on the show. Don't just come in. I told you on the show, don't come in and steal my drink. But I'm not a hater, so welcome back, good brother.
Thank you, my brother.
The people get what the people ask for.
You got to give the people what they ask for, and the multitude. We in the building, man. It's a pleasure to be here with you again, man. It's Friday. It's decent out, and we trying to see if we traveling to Detroit for nothing. I mean, I know it's your job. You have to go.
Yeah, I don't think y'all would pay me if I didn't go.
No, we wouldn't.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going.
But I'm gonna go with you just to make sure you're doing your job as well as you always do.
I need supervision. I ain't going front.
And also, the Bears are coming back 0-2, brother. I'm sorry.
Already.
So I wanted to start, I come with my notes, man, because you so off the hook and you so good at it. I got to make sure I'm ready when I step into the Herb Howard show.
Yeah.
So I got to have my notes ready, man.
What you got, man? Let's.
Off the cuff, though, this ain't even about the notes. This is about Dan Campbell.
Okay, shout out to Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Dan Campbell, man, I remember when he first came on the scene, his introductory presser, and he was talking about biting, they were going to have to eat knees or bite kneecaps or something, and people didn't really take that too well.
Right.
I heard a lot of people saying they weren't sure if he was going to make it, what type of coach he's going to be. And you look down the line 3-4 years later, he's one of the better coaches in the league. He's gotten the guys to buy into what he believes in, and took those guys to the NFC Championship last year, right?
Attitude reflect leadership, man. Them players, that roster, they reflect their head coach from top to bottom. His mentality is the mentality they take the field with. They did not get to the NFC Championship last year. Interesting, I think this was the first time in history that one division, the NFC North, sent 3 teams to the playoffs last year.
Right.
None of them won a single game in the playoffs.
None of them won a single game.
NFC Championship was the Eagles and the upstart Commanders, led by rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. We're going to get into them a little bit later as they played Green Bay yesterday.
Dan Campbell said, hey, man, we have to win this game, and we're going to win this game. Somebody's going into week 3 in the NFC North 0-2.
These are facts.
And it's going to be the Bears.
So you got the Packers at 2-0. The Vikings, they 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
I'm drawing a blank on who they playing. Somebody tell me who the Vikings playing. Crystal, who the Vikings play this week? The Lions 0-1, Bears 0-1. So one of them going to be 0-2. The Packers will be 2-0. Then we'll see what's up with the Vikings. But 0-2 seems like too steep of a hole to fall into in this division. Because we're not talking about any 0-2.
Right.
They didn't go and lose 2 games to the 49ers and the Giants, right? They lost 2 division games. Whoever loses this game, you're talking about losing 2 division games.
Right.
That puts you in a very, very steep hole trying to win the division, which is obviously the fastest route to the playoffs.
And then when you look at the Detroit Lions, obviously they lost their OC, they lost their DC. Come back, not the same expectations. I think the offensive line, they lost Frank Ragnow. He retired, didn't he?
Yep.
Ragnow retired.
He was the glue, the center of the offensive line. They've got 2 really, really good tackles, right? They got 2 bookend tackles, which is always great. But somebody's got to be the glue on that thing. It's like what Olin Kreutz was to the Bears for so very long.
Right.
And losing him. And they lost him kind of late in the process. He didn't retire like right after the season.
Okay.
Late in the process of the offseason. And so, that matters, right? That's something that they it's gonna hurt them a little bit.
And what's the status on Penei Sewell? Is he like a game time decision? Is he hurt?
No, I think he's gonna be able to go.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be able to go. It looks like the Vikings play the Falcons. That should be a win for them too. So maybe they'll be 2-0 as well, but we'll see.
Okay. They have a rookie. Do they have 2 rookies or 1 rookie on the off? Do you know that? I know they got 1 rookie on the line.
They got a rookie at right guard.
Right guard, yeah.
They got a rookie at right guard. I'm drawing a blank on who they got at left guard, and they move Glasgow over to center, and that's not his natural position, so he's got to kind of grow into that as well.
Then we talked about on the first Herb Howard show, we talked about the weaponry. When you talk about Amon-Ra, you talk about Jameson Williams, and you talk about the 2 running backs in Demo and Jahmyr Gibbs. And then let's just talk about Jared Goff for a second, because Jared Goff outside versus Jared Goff inside, total different ball game. So I'm expecting Jared Goff to come out and, first of all, try to attack Jalen Johnson. I know this is going to be his first game back. I don't know about his conditioning. You would know more than me. You could talk about that if you want.
Yeah, no, I think that Jalen Johnson coming back is one, obviously that's a boost for the Bears. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. That's number 1. But number 2, he hasn't played football since January.
Exactly.
And if I'm the offensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions,
you go right at him?
I'm going right at him.
Okay.
But peep this, not in the passing game. I'm going right at him in the running game.
Damn.
I'm going to test his physicality.
Okay.
I'm going to see what type of shape he's in. He ain't put pads on nobody since they left Lambeau in January.
Right.
He just hasn't done it. And I don't care how long you've been playing football, you got to kind of warm yourself up to the physicality of football, especially at the NFL level. And so no training camp, no preseason. You ain't put pads on nobody. Ain't nobody put pads on you. I'm going to find out exactly how ready to play football Jalen Johnson is right off the back. I'm running outside sweeps, I'm running tosses, I'm pulling guards, I'm pulling tackles, and I'm running them right at number one. We're gonna put him in positions to have to play physical the first 2-3 drives. I'm running right at him. I'm running right at him. I'm getting my big offensive lineman, I'm getting Panay Sewell and them guys out there on the edge, line up number one. Let's see him take on some of those blocks, see how physical he is, how prepared he is, how in shape he is. And then once we get the beating on him in that way, now we can start opening up the passing game. See if he's now you didn't take this beating. Can you still run with Jamison Williams? Can you still get cover with Amon-Ra St. Brown? So that would be my game plan. I love Jalen Johnson. That's my dude. But we got to find out if you can play football. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm running right at him the first 2 or 3 drives.
And to finish up about the defense, the Bears just have not been able to stop the run. And I think that's going to be a focal point of the offense as well. What's up with Grady Jarrett, man?
He's going to be probably closer to a game-time decision. If I had to bet, I would say he's going to go. He's not a guy who's missed a ton of games. He did have a significant injury when he did his ACL, but other than that, you talk about a guy who's missed 2 games here, 1 game there throughout his 10-year career. So he's a guy that he shows up on game day. So if he can go, I expect him to go. I'd be surprised if he's not out there on Sunday.
Let's switch to the other side of the ball, man. For me, I think the key to the Bears offense this week, I'm sure we'll see. We know about Ben Johnson coming back home for the first time, so it's going to be emotional, all those other factors involved. But the main thing for the Bears, for me, they have to stay out of 3rd and long.
Mandatory. That's any team, though. That's football. Stay ahead of the chains. In Chicago, we just get used to seeing 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. Shit, we get used to seeing 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15.
Straight up.
How we get there when we started with 10, right? So we just kind of used to getting behind the chains and seeing us play football that way. But that's an awful way to play football, especially when Aiden Hutchinson is on the other side of the line of scrimmage and he can pin his ears back and come get you. So, you got to stay ahead of the chains. That's why it's important to take what the defense is giving you early. That's why it's important to take the 3 and 4 yard check downs. We talked about that last week. Getting the 2nd and 6, giving yourself a chance to get to 3rd and 3. Right. Now the entire playbook is open to you. Right. The defense can't guess they're going to do this, they're going to do that. If you can't do that, if you get into obvious passing situations on the road, okay? Ben Johnson said that the Ford Field has become one of the biggest home field advantages in the league over the past couple of years. It gets loud in there, man. So you get to 3rd and long, that crowd gets involved. Aiden Hutchinson, them guys get that energy going. That offensive line still kind of work together, trying to figure things out. Caleb still trying to figure things out. That cadence not good. That's how you're going to get into some more pre-snap issues, the false starts, the procedures. Now you're looking at 3rd and 14, 3rd and 13. And it's bad business. Bad business. They got to stay ahead of the chains.
I know specifically in football, since it's a short season, but it's a long season. Yeah. Most teams, they're really trying to figure out who they are, besides teams like Kansas City, Philly, who already got the culture built and they just plug and play. But a lot of these teams, the first 3 or 4 weeks, they're growing, developing, and finding out exactly who they are. Mm-hmm. With Caleb Williams, man, I just need to see better mechanics. I saw Declan Doyle, and I wasn't really feeling this, man. Declan, I watched you, and I wasn't really feeling you, man. I saw him talking about Caleb using his legs, and that's a recipe for a disaster, bro. Mm-hmm. It's cool to be able to scramble and get away from, make something out of those dead plays, but Caleb Williams running the ball thinking it's a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen thing we got going over here, it is a recipe for disaster. I just want to see him. I just want to see better mechanics. I want to see him be able to convert those 3rd and 3s, those balls in the flat. And just, Caleb, can I see a little sauce, man? I see your nails and I see your hair and I see all this. I saw you hanging out with Lyrical Lemonade this summer, getting tattoos and shit. I want to see some ball, man. Put some sauce on them balls over the middle. Everything don't have to be a bullet, man. I'm looking for him to be so much better mechanically this week, man. I'm
laughing not only because you're hilarious, but too because the conversation around drafting him was just that, right? He's going to be able to operate within the offense. He's going to be able to operate within the rhythm and the timing of the offense. Justin just runs around. You can't play football like that. And now we're like, let Caleb run around. Like, the revisionist history of the entire conversation is hilarious to me, right? And, to me, it's just like, well, wait, these were the same things that we were talking about with Justin before, and y'all said that this can't miss next Patrick Mahomes prospect would not do any of those things. And that's what we're seeing, right? And I think, listen, I want to be fair to him because you're talking about learning a new system. So a lot of people talked about the play last week where he had DJ Moore streaking open down the left sideline, right? Now,
and I thought what you said was important. I didn't mean to cut you off,
brother.
But what you said, as being a quarterback, obviously you haven't played at this level.
Sure.
But obviously sometimes you're just not going to see everything.
Sure.
But you can't miss that, man.
No, you can't miss it. But what actually happened on the play was DJ had a different route. DJ had an out route, right? But all football players, all good football players with great instincts are going to run to space, especially when the space is towards the end zone. And so DJ, like, they not covering me over the top. Fuck the out. I'm up this way. And Caleb learning the new offense, you know, still trying to catch up with everything in his brain. And when you're thinking that way, you're not just kind of playing. You're thinking through every small detail, and I got to be perfect. I got to be perfect. The ball's supposed to go here. I got to go. It's like, hey, just play football.
Right.
And football will tell you, nobody's over the top of my boy. Let me just put it out there for him, or just put it on him, let him run and be the athlete that he is. Either one of those things will be perfectly fine, but since he's not thinking that way, they're not on the same page, they can't hook up on a play that you should be able to hook up on. But that's because he's learning the new system, right? So I want to give him a little bit of grace on that because your brain is just going too fast to kind of just react instinctually and put the ball where it should be. That being said, you got to get to that space, man. You got to be able to capitalize. When the defense, you know, turns one of your receivers loose, they want to give you 6, you got to be able to take it.
100%.
So, you know, those things got to be able to take place. The Bears got to be able to put themselves in position to do some of those things. And Caleb's got to be ready for it, right? And so, you know, I empathize with him a lot. He went through a lot last year with the coaching staff, the turnovers, all, like, of the coaching staff. Like, all of that matters. But at some point, you got to put that behind you and play ball, because that has nothing to do with the mechanics of the throwing routes. It has nothing to do with opening your front hip, hitting the backside slant. Like, you missed that twice egregiously. Like, those are small things. They don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Make those plays. Make those plays. Stay ahead of the chains. The Bears should give themselves a chance to win the game. So
one more thing.
Go ahead.
And let's not overreact. Saw a lot of overreactions after week 1. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is not a bust after week 1, guys. Calm down. Give him a chance. The talent is there. Ben Johnson is there. Ben Johnson didn't take this job for Tyson Bagent to start week 7. So give Caleb Williams a chance. But before we get out of here, man, didn't see a lot of Luther Burden week 1, but I did see him return that punt, that kickoff before halftime, and he was a little saucy, man. Should they look at him more in the special teams, or how do we get more reps from Luther?
I think you definitely want to find ways to get the ball in his hands. He's an elite athlete. He makes things happen when the ball is in his hands. So what that looks like, I don't know. You can do it in a multitude of ways, but right now you're going to continue to have Olamide Zaccheaus in front of him at the position that he plays the most.
Right.
Now, what they can do while they're utilizing DJ Moore in the backfield, and that's when you've seen him come on the field on offense.
How do you feel about that?
I'm cool with it. I think getting the ball in DJ's hands, however works. He's so good with the ball in his hands. He's dynamic. He's tough to tackle. Rarely goes down by the first guy. So I'm cool with getting DJ the ball, even if it's a straight handoff in the backfield.
Cool.
What that also does is open up that receiver spot, and that's when you saw Luther Burden on the field. When DJ's in the backfield, you can bring him in. Ultimately, what I would like to see them do is use that to scheme up mismatches, because you got Rome, you got OZ, you got Luther, and now you got DJ in the backfield. So you got these 4 athletes on the field. You should be able to scheme one of them up on a linebacker, and that's bad business for any defense. So, you know, ultimately, you like to see him get to some of those things, but getting the ball in Luther Burden's hands, whether that's in, you know, the kicking game or on offense, makes a ton of sense right now. But he's still got some things to learn to be able to gain the trust from Coach Johnson, number one, and then, you know, just take advantage of the opportunities when they do come. Let me ask you this before you go. You say the Bears are going down. Is that a death sentence for the year?
Death sentence.
Are they smoked?
They are smoked. I'm not necessarily saying we're going to see another 10-game losing streak, but you start off 0-2 in the division. Hey, guys, you heard it here first. Call me a pessimist all you want. I've been a Bears fan for too long, and I've seen this story before. Death sentence.
There you heard it, man, from the man himself. I think it's going to be an insurmountable hole to climb out of if they go 0-2. I feel that way about Detroit, too. The Bears got a very, very tough road schedule. They already dropped one at home. They got to go get one back here against the Detroit Lions. And I think going 0-2 is definitely a recipe for disaster. They got Dallas coming in next week. Dallas played really, really well in week 1. We'll see what they do here in week 2. You got to go to the Raiders, Hopefully you can handle business out there. You get a bye, and then it gets it gets real. You're talking about Washington, Philly, Baltimore. Like it gets a little out of hand. So
and the same for Detroit going forward. They schedule ain't getting no easier either. So they got to pull this W out so they can get some momentum heading into week 3.
I only had one beer, so I didn't crack it for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and crack it now. Your beer crack didn't go well last week anyway, so
pause.
Don't worry about it. Shout out to Moore's Beer, man. If you're not in tune, get in tune. When we come back, we're gonna take a trip around the league, see some of the most important games that I think are coming up on the weekend slate around the NFL. Shout out to Gene for checking in once again. This is the Herb Howard Show. We'll be right back. So 0-2 is over with, huh? Yeah.
Look, welcome to Plants on the Gridiron. It's Chicago's first and only plant-based tailgate.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Vegan world, baby.
And here's what we love. It is Chicago's most unique event. We combine health, we combine sports, love of football, and you gotta bear down. Chicago Bears, baby.
See the community coming together and just enjoying some really good plant-based food. There's people here that are meat eaters, there's people here that are fully plant-based, and we can come together as a community and just really have an impactful event.
Because we are Chicago homegrown.
Come late, the food gonna be gone. Oh, I swear to God, they ain't coming back.
Welcome back inside the big studios. My name is Herb Howard. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. If you have not done so already, please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you get, and set the reminder so you get the alerts every time that the page goes live or drops new content. Let's take a trip around the league, see what some of the most important games are, in my opinion, coming up on the slate this week. First of all, if we're talking about the Green Bay Packers, they 2-0. They beat 2 teams, and I'm talking about beat them handily, that were legitimate NFC contenders coming into this season. They beat the Commanders last night. Last weekend, they beat the Detroit Lions. So I feel like right now, the way the Packers are playing, offensively, defensively, it's almost a perfect brand of football right now. They getting the running game involved. They getting the passing game involved offensively. They hitting their tight ends. They staying ahead of the chains, Gino. They doing these types of things all game long. They're protecting the football, and then defensively, they're stopping the run. They're getting after the passer. So if the Packers just keep playing like they're playing, they're going to be really, really tough to beat. Listen, I don't want to overreact either, but the fact of the matter is, playing the way they playing right now, I don't know who's going to beat them. Let me just put it like that. I don't know who is going to beat the Green Bay Packers with the way they are playing right now, right? So, go around the league, looking at a few games here. The Bills and the Jets. Why? The Bills should beat the Jets, right? They probably will. It is in New York, but Justin, my boy. I got to keep an eye on my boy, man. So I want to see how he plays in week 2. He played really, really well against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1. The Jets were not able to pull out the victory, but I'm interested to see if Justin can follow that game up with another strong performance against a Super Bowl contender like the Buffalo Bills coming to New York to play them there. Eagles, Chiefs, somebody say Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles are going to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Got to figure out what that looks like. We talk about 0-2. Guess who else might be 0-2? Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes might be going down. The Eagles are coming to KC, and you could be looking at a situation where the Chiefs are 0-2. The Chiefs don't start slow. They don't get into these holes like that. But if the Chiefs go down 0-2, that'll be something worth watching, because another game that's on my radar is an AFC West game, and I'll keep it buck with you. I'm not usually interested in the AFC West like that because, one, the Chiefs win it every year, so it's not really worth keeping my eye on. But this year, you got the Chargers already 1-0. You got the Raiders already 1-0. They play each other this week. One of those teams is going to be 2-0, and the Chiefs could be 0-2. Is that an insurmountable hole for the Chiefs to go into? I don't think so, right? They're a veteran team. They got a great quarterback, great coach. They should know how to get themselves together. But going 0-2, not very, very good. And again, they got the world champion Philadelphia Eagles coming to Arrowhead. I'm taking the Eagles in that game. I think the Chiefs are 0-2 coming out of that one. I think the Chiefs are 0-2. We talked about a little bit the Vikings hosting the Falcons. The Vikings got a win last week. They'll probably get another win at home this week. I think US Bank Stadium is one of the better stadiums in the league, and I think it's a huge home field advantage. It gets very, very loud, and I think it's a tough place for Mike Penix and the Atlanta Falcons to go on the road and get a win. I'm taking the Vikings in that. So I think the North will have 2 teams that are 2-0. They'll have one team that's 1-1, and probably the Bears at 0-2. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm taking the Lions. Taking the Lions to win the game, 23-17. I think that'll be the final score.
Do you remember? Did you see the stat last night? Green Bay's prior 3 quarterbacks all won the Super Bowl at age 27.
Yeah, I seen that.
And who's going to be 27 in a couple?
Yeah, Jordan Love turned 27 in November. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl at 27. Brett Favre won a Super Bowl at 27. So of course Jordan Love's going to win a Super Bowl at 27.
Yeah. Barstar, yeah.
I don't really think so. No, listen, if they keep playing like this, I think they will win the Super Bowl, for real. But I don't think it got nothing to do with him being 27. I think that's a hell of a coincidence. I think those are the games that I have my eye on for this particular week. We'll see what comes, from those games, how those things turn out. Got to be interested in the Chiefs. Got to be interested in the Bears and the Lions. 0-2 is a pretty steep hole to find yourself in early on in the process. We'll find out, man. We are headed to Detroit. The Bigs will be out there this weekend. Catch us with the coverage. Gonna get into the deck check this week, man. The deck check, if you've not been rocking with us, man, it's something that we do before every single game. We go around the stadium. We check in with all the fans that are doing their tailgates. We find out what they got on the grills, what they eating, what they sipping, and how they're feeling about the game. It's something I really, really enjoy. It's an opportunity to chop it up with the people, to, brush shoulders with the people, and just stay in tune with what's going on from the fans' perspective. We get a lot of calls and say, hey, come to our tailgate. Our tailgate is this, our tailgate is that. We've been to some lit ones. I ain't even going to front. We've been to some really, really raw ones. Our favorite one, our family, the Real Tailgate crew. Shout out to Crystal, shout out to Steve, shout out to Sean. They put on a phenomenal, phenomenal display each and every home game, but they also go on the road. Last year, we caught it with Sean from the Real Tailgate crew out in Indianapolis. He gave us a tour of his house on wheels. I'm gonna give y'all a look at that right now.
Hey man, I see this huge house on wheels behind me, man. Can we get a little walk through that? Can we see what's going on?
Most definitely. You see it's a little bit of blue, for the bear down blue, but yeah, we're gonna take a look at it.
All right, we're gonna take a look at what's going on in this mansion on wheels. Let's go.
All right, this is the Bears Real Tailgate Road Trip Vehicle. So right now we in the family room. I'm gonna call it the family room. As you can see, you got your kitchen right here.
Refrigerator too.
A real refrigerator. That's a house size fridge. Over here, you got your little dinette set, little eatery. When you sit back watching the Bears whoop up on anybody right here, you got your nice 2 recliners. Go ahead, hit the cord right there. Hit the inside.
I'm staying here all day.
Oh, sit on down. Right there, look at it, my boy right there. He's just chilling, watching the TV right here. You know, then we're gonna move back just in case, you know, when the Bears win and you got really excited, you get a little bit tired, you want to kind of go lay down, take a little nap. We got a nice size, king size bed right here. And then after the Bears win for the day game, you got another TV to watch the night game. And as always, you got to clean yourself up. You want to come in here. We got a nice size bathroom here. And if you're hanging out a little bit, your clothes get dirty, we got a nice little washer dryer to wash your clothes, keep everything nice and clean. And me, I'm a good family man. Right now, unfortunately, I don't have no grandkids, Lily, Jalen, but I do have god kids. So I got a nice little bunk right here for the kids. 2 bunk beds for the kids. Or an adult too. So that you just saw the full bath. Another thing I like about this right here, I got a nice little half bath. So now you just took a nice little tour of the real tailgate Bears crew. This is how we do it on the road. A lot of away games. We're going to be on the move. We'll check you out.
Hey, Sean, holla at your boy, man, on the next trip. I'm trying to roll out with the real tailgate crew. That's a mansion on wheels, man. They got the king size bed, they got the bunk beds, full bathroom, washer dryer, half bathroom, got the full living room, big refrigerator, big screen TV. I'll be back there chilling, man. I don't know who's driving, but I'm cooling. Shout out to the real tailgate crew. Holla at the bigs, man, if you want to slide through your tailgate, whether that's at home at Soldier Field or that it is on the road, hit us up. We'll slide through, man. We appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to the second episode of the Herb Howard Show. It is week 2. We'll be back on Tuesday, 9 a.m. Hopefully talking about the 1-1 Bears, but probably talking about the 0-2 Bears. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for all of y'all comments. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with at least one person. I'm on my way up to Hallis Hall. Coach Johnson is speaking today. There's open locker room. There's practice. I got to go see what's going on up in Lake Forest. Holler at the guys before they make their way to Detroit. We're making our way to Detroit a little bit later. We appreciate y'all. Carm, what's good, my brother? Appreciate you checking in. Appreciate all of y'all checking in. Shout out to the whole team. P behind the camera doing all the hard work. Ill is over here footworking. That's what he does. Shout out to Gene. Shout out to T. I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the bigs.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
What's up? This is D Rose, and I'm rocking with the bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks.